Hey, what's going on, everybody? This is Tyrone back with Tech Life. And here we have this article from WCCF Tech. I'll leave a link to it in the description in case you guys haven't seen it. So this is an article that we discussed. It came out about a week ago. But I wanted to bring this up again because, right, the best network coverage, and then AT&T is no longer the second largest U.S. carrier. I wanted to tie that to the rip and replace. I think the Nokia markets, right, could have caused AT&T to lose some of the perception, and the equipment wasn't the greatest, or it's just not the greatest. Let's call it what it is. And then once AT&T figured out that they wanted to do the Ericsson deal, they probably never even upgraded to like newer Nokia radios, newer Nokia equipment that could have performed perhaps even a little bit better. So that contributed, I feel, to some of the customers that AT&T has been losing. So the rip and replace, I got to be very genuine in this video. It's happening faster than I even anticipated. Now, I'm not saying that that's not going according to the schedule that they have, or if they're ahead of schedule, but the pictures I'm getting sent pictures saying, hey, 4 days ago I was here and this rip and replace was not there. 5 days ago I was there and this rip and replace was not there. They're moving at an incredible pace, ripping the entire site and putting Ericsson, right? So this is not a, I want to clarify this. This is not a partial rip. They're not going and adding certain things. No, when they say they're ripping, that means every single Nokia equipment at the top radio is coming off, and every single Nokia baseband unit and equipment is coming off. It's all coming off, and they're adding everything Ericsson. Baseband, software cards, whatever. It's all Ericsson at the bottom, and it's all Ericsson at the top. So this is very impressive, right? I have one comparison that I can compare this to that was a disaster, and that was Sprint's network vision. For those of you who remember, they had to rip the entire 3G baseband and panels and radios at the top and then add the LTE. That caused major service disruption. I would even say that was arguably the biggest issue that Sprint faced, was that huge long service disruption during the rip and replace. I know there was other things, and I don't want to get into that now. I know there was Nextel and there were all these other things, but I think that network vision that caused actual service disruption, big service disruption where Sprint actually had the coverage, that was a huge issue. That's where they started losing 500,000 customers a quarter. Because you couldn't, I experienced it. You couldn't send text. You couldn't even call because the network had no capacity. They had no density for overlap. So when they ripped one site, it was completely down. You had no service. So AT&T is doing this 10 times better. AT&T has decent overlap. Where they're ripping site, there's hardly any service disruption. So I think this is going even better than AT&T even anticipated. Right, because I saw a document earlier in the year where AT&T's engineers put on, hey, we anticipate interruption and service disruption for like 3 or 4 days. In some cases, we might need a cell on wheels. They anticipated all of that. But now, as quickly as these rips and replace are happening, I mean, they're taking sites completely down. Like they're taking racks off completely on Nokia equipment, they're ripping them, and then they're putting them back up. I've seen that in Albuquerque. So there's a lot of stuff happening right now for AT&T. And that's to close out the year. So just think about next year, how many they're going to touch. Right? 1/3 of the network has to get touched. Every site. Rural, city, suburban, whatever, they have to touch them. It's got to get ripped. It needs Ericsson equipment. All right, so the network is going to perform better. Simple as that. Right, I'm not going to sit here and say that in areas where you didn't have service before, this is all of a sudden going to bring service. No, they still need to build physical sites to get service there. But with the power of the Ericsson radios, I think the coverage could get better penetration. You know, there might be a couple of areas where the Wigno is weaker under the Nokia equipment that might now have stronger signal, which is going to bring a better uplink. I do think that's going to be the outcome of this rip and replace. But I want to genuinely let you guys know that this rip and replace is going much, much faster than I anticipated. And I'm starting to think it's going faster than even AT&T anticipated. I mean, they're throwing money around right now. I mean, crews are getting sent from different cities to different states. They got $14 billion. So there's a lot of money right now for all the crews. I mean, they're making some money right now. OT, overnight, whatever is needed. AT&T is willing to pay to get this done as quickly as possible, right? If they can get this all done by the end of 2026, which is the goal, I mean, they will have achieved a hell of a lot if they can get that done, right? You still have CRAN, ODAS, indoor DAS. That's probably still going to be a project for 2027. But for the majority of the macros, they should be done by the end of 26. That's how quickly they're moving. I'm hearing that at the pace they're moving, the New York City suburbs should be done by the end of 25. That's how quickly they're moving. So let me know your thoughts. Let me know if you're seeing some rip and replaces in the comments. Like, share, subscribe if you're new. Follow my social media outlets. This is Tyrone with Tech Live. See y'all in the next one. Peace.